We are live in Las Vegas, home of WrestleMania 41 at Allegiant Stadium. But tonight, it's the home of NXT Battleground, and we are live inside the state-of-the-art UFC Apex. This place is unreal. From the moment you walk in, so much to relive, including all the UFC history. And tonight will be nothing short of historic, as our host is ready for our festivities to begin at Battleground.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host of NXT Battleground, Sexy Red!
Hey everybody! What's up? It's your favorite hood hottest princess, Sexy Motherfucking Red, and welcome to the NXT Battleground.
NXT has arrived to Sin City. And tonight, Las Vegas plays host to the ultimate battleground.
We're excited to give our superstars the opportunity to perform in the state-of-the-art facility.
For the first time ever, UFC Apex will transform and make history with NXT.
At Battleground, we will crown the first women's North American NXT champion.
These six will fight to retrieve the title in a ladder match, a historic championship clash.
But in this town, when you're on top of the world,
I beat all the odds. I bested all of the competition.
a single roll of the dice
I'm simply better.
can change your fortunes forever.
TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace!
Now, Roxanne, you have built your name the same as I have in TNA. So at Battleground, I'm challenging for your NXT Women's Championship.
Jordynne, I'm sending your ass back to TNA with nothing but disgrace.
The doors to UFC Apex may have been open, but the transformation has only just begun.
We will enter the NXT Underground to prove who is the baddest, Shayna Baszler or Lola Vice.
People have forgotten about my dominance.
In the Underground, either I tap you out,
After I tear you apart,
or I knock you out.
you'll find out. There's only one cage fighter in wrestling.
You choose, bitch!
As the Whoop That era prepares to take over the Strip, keeping your name up in lights
Trick Williams is your NXT champion.
can sometimes be tricky.
Ethan Page gets an NXT title opportunity in his first NXT match.
Ethan, I know that you're new here, so let Trick Williams tell you how things go.
Everyone will remember Ethan Page as the one that brought the abrupt end to the Whoop That era.
At Battleground, you can't end nothing, dawg.
Ego is everything in this town. And tonight, within the spectacular UFC Apex, we built a new battleground. Las Vegas. This is NXT.
And now, live from UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, WWE presents NXT Battleground.
You can feel the energy as we are live inside the UFC Apex in the entertainment capital of the world. And tonight promises to be nothing short of historic, with the lines of battle having been drawn. Welcome to NXT Battleground. Vic Joseph alongside the two-time W Hall of Famer, the mayor of Las Vegas, apparently.
Yes,
Booker T. Booker, how historic is this night going to be, not just for the superstars, but for WWE and for UFC?
Oh, WWE and UFC and wrestling terms as a tag team about to go on a hell of a run, man. Oh, yes.
And we're kicking off tonight in a very historic way here at NXT Battleground because the field has been set for the women that will compete in order to make history. There is the NXT Women's North American title. Who will be the first to call themselves champion?
The following contest is a ladder match to crown the first ever NXT Women North American Champion. Introducing first, Sol Ruca.
Sol Ruca, of course, defeated Izzy Dame to qualify, but Booker, is Sol Ruca the one that's feeling the most pressure? She scored the highest rating at the Women's Combine.
Damien, number one out of all the ladies in the combine is right, but Vic, this is something different here. This ain't a skills challenge.
Next, representing OTM, Shayna Parker.
Rocco Nima, Lucian Price, Miss Parker secured her spot by beating Brindley Reese to make it all the way here to Las Vegas. Someone, Book, who you've gotten to know, was recently on your radio show.
The Hall of Fame.
She certainly has the it factor, as you point out.
Yeah, I mean, she has that it factor, no doubt. She has the thing where you just can't teach her. It's like deja vu, like she's been there before, Vic. Oh yes, man.
Making her way to the ring, Meechin.
Defeated Tatum Paxley to qualify. Do you get the sense that Meechin has been going for it more, not being so lax?
She knows the deal now, Vic. Let me tell you something. Meechin is looking for that career-defining moment. Could this be it? I love that music, man. It's hot. Uh-huh.
Fallon beat Thea Hale to get to Las Vegas, and you talk about being hot, it's about 105 degrees outside. That jacket's got to be a little bit more warmer here inside the UFC Apex, but as you see the women getting into the ring, you look up, you see the championship. Who will be the first woman to be the Women's North American Champion? Who will climb the ladder? Who will retrieve the title? Who will immortalize herself here tonight at Battleground?
What do you think about Fallon Henley? A little different tonight, don't you think?
Coming to a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, no pun intended.
Representing Metal 4, Lash Legend.
Took down Monday Night Raw's Pitbull Ivy Nile. But here's the question about Lash Legend, Book. Where's her head at? Is she fully focused on what's going on in this matchup? You think about Trick Williams, you think about everything else going on with Metaphor, you think about the history going to be made here tonight, you think about this match. Is she truly focused?
Vic, you said Trick Williams, that's Big Trick Willie to you, okay?
I will not call him that. I will call him the NXT champion. Thank you very much. But I also noticed how you dodged the question of, is she going to be in the game here tonight? Will she be the one to crown herself champion?
I don't know. I can tell you this. That walk to the ring told me a whole lot about Lash Legend's confidence.
Jordan earned her place by beating Ren Sinclair. As you take a look in a fitting way, she's wearing a little bit of a Vegas vibe. Is luck on her side here tonight?
You know, she's bright, bubbly. She's probably the youngest out of these ladies in the ring right here, but she's very skilled, very talented, and looking to shine here in NXT.
2018, the men had the North American title hanging above the ring to determine its first champion, which was Adam Cole. It happened in New Orleans. Who will etch her name in history? We're about to find out at Battleground. And right off rip, body starting to hit the floor. And Booker, I don't know if you've noticed this, we're a little bit closer than normal.
Yeah.
We're a little bit more confined here tonight.
And I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Oh,
here we go.
brother.
What the hell?
Hey. You all right, Book?
Yeah.
I know I asked you that. I'm going to stop asking because I really, yeah, we're moving. Take a look in the ring. Jada Parker right here legitimately on our desk. And Michin. Again, Book the day. Whoa! Well, I would say I feel bad, but I don't. You got exactly what you deserved. I told you to get out of the way, and look at Jordan right into Lash. Again, this ladder match, everything legal. Big missile drop kick. And again, who is the first to get up the ladder, retrieve the title, will call themselves champion here tonight. Down right now, running a little bit of interference, but Lash taking over. Noam Dar or a Mensa attack, called things off with Trick Williams. She's got to be thinking somewhat about the main event later tonight, as she just got rocked to the outside.
The hell is going on?
I told you to watch out. I said get out of the way. You didn't listen. Paid the price. And that's what is happening right now in the ring to Kalani Jordan. She gets a nice little standing reverse. I mean, there's action all over the place, and I did just tell you.
Can I get a monitor, man?
What do you want, Book? I mean, I can't be in production at the same time here. Scoot closer to. I told you we're a little bit more confined here tonight.
What's going on? What's going on?
Look at the monitor. I just gave you one. And Kalani Jordan dropping Ruka. And look at Jordan.
Whoa!
With a little extra twist.
That's what I'm talking about right there. She's very talented, Vic. Talking about talent. Talking about talent. That's so Ruka, Vic. It's getting hot in here.
Ruka just got dropped by Fallon Henry. Listen to the NXT Universe.
Oh, my God, man.
Just that athleticism. Pure chaos and a big pump kick from Lash. The field is down. Human demolition derby.
Everybody wants it, Vic, so bad. This is a history-making moment tonight.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because truly, what does it mean to be the first?
No, I mean, to be the first so young at this stage of your career, Vic, is rocket fuel for the career, man. That's what it is.
Whoa, what the hell? Look at Kalani go. You take a look at the entire card here tonight in Vegas. There are more women tonight than men, truly showcasing why we have the best women's division in all of wrestling.
Oh, look at the strength of Lash Legend. Oh, wow.
Booker, I think you'd agree. It doesn't matter how strong you are when you get hit with a ladder. Oh, my word.
Jada Parker right there with a lot of natural ability, Vic. She's highly touted to win this thing here tonight. Oh, wow.
Nasty landing landing by Michin.
Gnarly, man.
It's Sol Ruca in control, and is Sol the one to watch? Her first ladder match, and we know she's not going to hold back.
Sol is the one to watch, but all 6 of these ladies, Vic, you cannot sleep on any one of them because, like you just said a second ago, this is history, man.
And there's Fallon Henley, the only superstar to wear gold in NXT that's in this matchup. She knows what it takes, and she's climbing rung by rung, has her finger on the title, and Sol Ruca, nice job running a little bit of interference.
Hard shot. Let me tell you something. This is a different Fallon Henley, though. I mean, she has an attitude here tonight.
Well, the ladder a little bit off center from where they need to be, and nasty landing. There's Miss Parker. What's Miss Parker thinking?
Oh, my. Wow.
Well, that'll ruin anyone's night in Vegas.
Kalani Jordan could be out for the night.
What a way to kick off NXT Battleground.
All action right now, too, Vic.
History to be made. Michin back to her feet. Looking to return the favor with a high-angle German suplex in Michin, the vet. She knows she's been in this position before. Climbing right to the top. The door opens. She's there.
Whoa.
Oh, and so was, Lash legend. Lash maybe has the most power in this matchup, as showcased in the past. Able to sidestep. Great elusiveness by Lash.
Not just that, she's representing metaphor, Vic. She's representing tonight. She's representing Noam Dar, Menza.
That's what I go back and mention, is her head in the game with everything going on, as Michin just got dropped, and Lash now, she's in the driver's seat, Booker.
No, somebody got to represent. Somebody got to represent for
Lash starting to
metaphor.
Climb. And think about Lash, how tall Lash is. She doesn't have to climb as far.
One more
She's already
rung.
got a hand on
One
the
more
title.
rung, Vic.
She can't grab it. And Michin able to pull Lash down, and whoa. Nice counter. You gotta think, too, she's able to put down Michin. She's able to put to sleep. That's one less superstar that Michin, if she's out, that Lash has to worry about.
Yeah, not the right strategy though, Vic. You don't want to waste too much time in one place in a matchup like this.
Fallon now trying to jump in on the party, operates with that me first mentality.
Talking about the deck being stacked.
Again, the chaos of this matchup, all these, and somehow Fallon Henley just holding on to Lash legend. But look at that, look at Sol Ruca. Ruca not concerning herself with anyone else. She's trying to make history. Kalani again jumping on the back. All these women know what's at stake. These were 12 women that came down to 6. They're in the ring now. Only one will make history. Kalani's all the way to the top. She's right there, Book.
Wow.
Kalani's right there. Jada dropped Sol.
It's not balanced. Can't get the right
Fallon
balance.
dropped each other. Kalani's by herself, but that door quickly shuts. And Jada back in control. And look, this was one of the reasons you've always said you weren't a fan of competing in ladder matches.
Somebody's going to get hurt, Vic. Every time you step into a ladder match, especially these days, man.
We go back to the concept we just talked about with the field with the women's combine. General Manager Ava right now has to be smiling in the back, seeing her concept come to life from the combine to the one woman that will make history, as Sol Ruca and Parker is now Michin in and tipping the ladder over.
Whoa, you talk about Ava, I mean, the youngest GM in our history in this business. She's doing a hell of a job. I say, give her a raise, man. Give her a raise. She's been doing some hell of a wow.
Face first onto the ladder, and now Ruca gets dropped.
Beautiful shot by Fallon.
Fallon realizing wise of Fallon Henley, saw Lash making her way in. She got right back up, but she's going right back down.
Oh, wow.
2 for 1. And Fallon Henley, don't look around, climb the damn ladder.
Talk about that attitude that she needed, Vic. I've been saying it since day one, and now she's adopted that attitude. And look, she's so close
and
now.
And that attitude you talk about is her developing that killer instinct.
Instinct is something you need in this business. It's a
she's
very selfish business.
Look at Kalani now moving a second ladder into position.
I mean, especially after taking that hard shot right there.
All these women, I'm looking around, everyone welts forming on their body. Michin getting kicked off. 4 women looking for 1 title. It's down to 3. Jada reaching up. Who is going to be able to get their hands
Did you see that
first
shot?
to retrieve the championship? And Lash Legend just wiped out the field.
Lash wants it. She wants it so
And
bad.
she sees it. She sees it. Lash is starting her climb.
This is it.
Her climb
This
towards
is
history.
it, man.
Soul's up there now. Soul's fighting. Soul Ruka, the #1 seed from the Combine. Perhaps maybe the odds-on favorite. Lash.
No way. No way she's gonna do this.
Soul looking to suplex the other. Bodies teetering. Soul trying to pull down Lash. Lash trying to hold on. Whew. It's almost a bad landing for Lash Legend. And now, Book.
I don't like this.
What the hell?
I don't like this at all.
You gotta be kidding me!
God, man.
Lash Legend just bounced off the ladder. It's been chaos since the beginning of the night. You can see what's trending #1, and it's because these 6 women are looking to become the one to make history. I just looked down. Lash is hurt right now, almost at our feet.
Of course she's hurt, Vic.
But look at the bodies in the ring. They're throwing haymakers right now. Book inside the UFC Apex. Michin DDT!
Talking about here we go, Vic. So close, but still yet so far away. You gotta do it.
Oh, how wise of Michin to jump to the 2nd ladder. But, oh, no. Ooh! Nasty landing for Michin.
Very nasty landing.
Again, the danger of the ladder match. It doesn't stop. There's no timeouts. This is continuing.
The strength.
And this is just the start to NXT Battleground. A historic night. This has already been the first premium live event for NXT in Las Vegas. The first WWE event in the UFC Apex. And Parker looking to become the first. Oh, Michin. And these two have a rivalry between the two. Remember how much they were jaw-jacking with one another this past Tuesday? That's carried over into tonight. And Soul took a little bit too much time trying to get that ladder to be perfectly still. Oh! Soul Snatcher!
That was a beautiful setup. Beautiful setup there by Soul Ruka. Oh! 2 times for your mind. Oh my God, man.
Quickly up to the top. Soul, Michin, Kalani. Soul's to the top, Kalani's to the top. Michin. Kalani trying to fight just to stay on top of the ladder. Oh, both women, same idea. Almost a double KO.
Window just opened, though, Vic. A window just opened for Michin.
And Soul Ruka back to her feet somehow, and she just got wiped out. You're right, that door is open right now for Michin. The same thing can be said for Kalani. One of a kind. Get there. Kalani. She's up top. She did it. She just made history. Jordan has made history.
Here is your winner and the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion, Kalani Jordan.
Unbelievable. Kalani Jordan from the Big Ten to NXT to Las Vegas to the first NXT North American Women's Champion.
Wow. What a moment.
I mean, this was quite the moment as well. Lash Legend being bounced off the ladder, wiped her out of the matchup. And then it was Michin who was able to take control of this match. We called it Human Demolition Derby. We said it was pure chaos. It was everything we thought it would be and that much more. It was 6 women who came out here to lay it on the line, like Sol Ruca, who hit not just one, but then look, she went back to the table and she doubled down, bam, with 2 Soul Smashers here tonight to make history, but Kelani Jordan in the end, proving she truly is one of a kind by climbing the ladder, retrieving the title, and immortalizing herself. Because for Kelani Jordan, she's been looking to stand out in the women's division. Well, now she stands alone in the record books as the first women's North American champion. And there is Las Vegas. It's been a great host of NXT Battleground, but for Ethan Page, Booker, it kind of got off to a rough start. Let's go look at what I was talking about, because Ethan Page, he arrived in Las Vegas yesterday.
Welcome to Las Vegas. How are we feeling ahead of Battleground?
I mean, other than being in Las Vegas.
If Tuesday wasn't enough, Ora Mensa got him a little bit more. Page certainly in the crosshairs of Mensa, but also in the crosshairs of our champion Trick Williams, who arrived at the UFC Apex earlier today ahead of the main events here tonight at Battleground, because Trick Williams will defend the NXT Championship against the aforementioned challenger, who is still maybe feeling the effects of that attack, Ethan Page. Main event still to come here tonight of NXT Battleground. But there we're now looking at Lola Vice warming up as she will re-enter NXT Underground, this time against a different opponent. That opponent being the one and only former NXT Women's Champion, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, who is warming up with former light heavyweight champion Jamal Hill. We will indeed find out tonight who is the baddest in NXT inside NXT Underground here at NXT Battleground.
Introducing first, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Booker, I'm just going to be blunt. When the Good Brothers arrived in NXT, should they have been handed a title match? Tag team title.
No, I don't think so. I mean, but after the reckoning of the OCs, you have no choice but to put them in this position right here. Oh, yes, I'm ready, man.
They are the NXT Tag Team Champions, Nathan Frazier and Axia.
To the Good Brothers, though, the champions have been ducking the challengers. I don't necessarily agree with that statement.
No, I don't agree with that at all. I'm going to tell you right now, Axia, Nathan Frazier, these two guys together, they may be unstoppable, Vic. Oh, yes, I'm talking about the tenacity, high octane, nitrous oxide, man. It's about to get quick up in this mug. Oh, yes, man.
See those two C4 energies you had earlier there really starting to kick in as we're 2 matches into the night. The champions, though, did not approve of outside teams and this isn't their quote, cutting the line. And it actually seemed at one point, if you remember, Book, Gallows and Anderson thought they were NXT originals. The OC thought they were OGs.
I told you, the OCs are back here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to capture these tag team championships.
I don't know if you can see on Axiom, but I just looked up from the monitor. That left shoulder has a little bit of a tape on it after the attack from Tuesday. Axiom's shoulder, I'd even throw out Nathan Frazier's ribs as well, could be targets for the OC.
Every time these men step inside that square circle, they're hurt. It's just a matter of just not being injured. Axiom is ready to go. He's ready.
He's definitely awake now, and there goes Anderson right to that bullseye I just talked about. That heavily taped left shoulder, and the OC has continually attacked Axiom and Frazier, forcing the champion's hand by frustrating them. Would that give the challengers an advantage here tonight by being able, they know they can frustrate the young champions?
I don't think so. I've been watching Frazier and Axiom for the last year and a half that I've been here, and I've said these two guys, they just need something. And together, Vic, that could be it. Look at them as a team. As a team, they're flawless.
Well, that tag was made, and wow. Never slow down. That is the motto of Nathan Frazier. Is into a cover, and Anderson quickly kicking out. But these two teams,
look at that right there.
Couldn't be more different in and out of the ring. The champions, very low-key individuals, let their talking in the ring.
Yeah,
that's where they do their talking.
But the OCs, I mean, these guys have been champion all over the world. And like I say, this is not a reset or anything like this. This is just regrouping and getting back to business, Vic.
Anderson sort of mocking Frazier in that moment. And when you talk to the OC, when you talk to Gallows, you talk to Anderson, they believe they're like Vegas. People around the world want to see them. Teams around the globe want to compete against them. And that is what Axiom and Frazier are doing at the highest level. In this moment, we're almost able to retain the NXT Tag Team titles.
Like Nipsey Hussle said, man, you want to slice, Vic, you got to roll the dice. And I love that quote.
That is a good quote. I would have thought you would have taken credit for it, so I actually give you a lot of credit for crediting the person.
That's Nipsey.
Frazier, Axiom right now in control. Look at Carl Anderson, and this is that frustration I was bringing up earlier, that they were angry for all the attacks, verbally, physically. That attack out at the merchandise stand, at the merchandise truck at NXT on Tuesday. I mean, you think about Axiom and Frazier, if they can be baited into anything, that frustration, that little slip, you know better than anyone, Book, that little slip can cost you.
It could be a big mistake, but I beg to differ, though, Vic. I mean, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, these two guys, you look at them just by the way they conduct themselves. They're fighters, man. They're willing to go in there and put it all on the line because they believe in themselves. Look at that.
Frazier
look at
up
the
and
action.
over, and just caught Carl Anderson face first in that middle turnbuckle and a quick tag. And you've already said it. You've been impressed with the champions on many different levels. High cross body. Big LG just got caught.
That's the fight I'm talking about. These.
Being a veteran, staying one step ahead, and immediately Carl Anderson went right to that injured arm, and here comes Luke Gallows.
Love me some Carl Anderson, man. He is the precision tactician. And now you got the big man inside, just doing work. I love it.
Someone might fact check me on this, but this is the first NXT Premium Live event ever for the OC, but it's the first Premium Live event for the OC since competing on Crown Jewel in 2022. They feel angry, they're disrespected, and they want to hurt whoever is in the ring with them.
Those stats aren't going to mean anything if the OC don't walk out of here tag team champions. Trust me, that's what it's all about. It's about winning the goal. It's about becoming the major players. Right to that base. I love it.
Elbow.
I love it, man.
Right to the joint of Axiom. You know what? You brought up gold. What has made the OC so dominant for so long? What has made them so good? I mean, TNA, New Japan, Raw Tag Team Champions, World Cup Champions in WWE.
It's very simple, Vic. I mean, these guys have been together by each other's side by side for the last 11 years. You know, they always say it's about the money and the miles, man. That's what they got. You feel me?
I do, and Axiom feels he is miles away from his tag team partner because he desperately needs to make the tag and instead just got dropped.
What a shot. What a shot!
And Anderson back in and right to the midsection. And now the OC slowing the pace of this match down.
Veteran move, Vic. Right now slowing the pace. It just looked like we're slowing the pace down, but right now we're just keeping Axiom real close to the body, man. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
With a chop, could that bring gold? And seeing a kick out. Anderson now a little bit frustrated in his own right, and he is going to punish Axiom.
Taking his time with it as well, Vic.
Doesn't matter if it's, by the way, a Tokyo or a private jet. The OC about talking shop, winning gold, and they may win a set of gold, Booker, they have never held before.
That's the question, Vic. That's the question. Can they do it? Can they do it? Because I'm going to tell you right now, Frazier and Axiom, they're not going to lay down and just let it happen, Vic.
True.
We're in for a long night. I don't care what you think. This is just the beginning here. This is the appetizer, man.
NXT Universe trying to rally the champions in this moment, and there's Axiom. You can see just the size disadvantage, and with one clubbing blow, buckling the knees of Axiom.
Big uppercut, Vic. Big uppercut.
Oh, that was a big counter. Axiom didn't get all that DDT. Again, you got to think he was on the left side. His left shoulder is damaged. He couldn't quite get all the hook in that he wanted, but he desperately right now, Book, needs to make a tag.
This goes back to what I said
Gallows.
a second ago. The fight in
Here
these
comes
two
Anderson.
guys. The fight, they're not going to quit. They're not going to quit.
They certainly are not. And the OC one more time. Oh, wait a minute, Axiom using that quickness, reaching out, and in comes Frazier. Missile drop kick. And there's nothing wrong with the champions doing things their own way. They never slow down.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something right now. I mean, the OCs, as good as they are, I don't think they faced anybody quite the caliber of these two teams right, these two guys right here. Oh, beautiful, 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 Vic.
Frazier looking around, standing shooting star to retain the gold here tonight in a near fall.
Poetry in motion in Nathan Frazier right now, but you want to stay on the gas, young man. Stay on the gas pedal.
Certainly has to, we talk about the champions. They competed against each other for years. They finally came together to achieve gold. They're not just going to roll over here tonight. Up to the top rope. Looking for the Phoenix Blow, able to roll through, land on his feet. In comes Anderson, up goes Frazier, and a TKO, dropping Frazier. Another tag was made. Axiom gets isolated.
We could have new tag team champions here in a minute because
in
right
a minute,
now,
it's only going to take 3 damn seconds.
The tide has shifted, man. The tide has.
Combination neck break.
That be it.
Gallows into the cover, hook to the leg, and Axiom just able to kick out, or excuse me, Frazier able to kick out.
Instinctual kick out right there because Frazier, I'm telling you right now, he was on Dream Street after that.
Take another look. Bam, this was after Axiom was isolated. Frazier's by himself. I still don't even see Axiom moving. Nathan right now in a bad way. Sit down power bomb. This has got to be an Axiom. Oh, wow. Just got there in the nick of time. Anderson didn't like that play. He just dumped Axiom back to the outside. Look at Frazier, though. Frazier looking for a tag. He doesn't have anyone to tag. But you know who did? Gallows. You know who's legal now? Anderson.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to play with Nathan Frazier. You don't want to waste any time like Carl Anderson is doing right now, Vic. You want to keep the pressure on, man.
Nice counter. Almost to your point, Book. Tag was made. Axiom's now legal. Anderson took a little bit too much time. Axiom looking to make him pay. Rolling right through, charging back in. Spine buster.
Yeah, always go back to your base, Vic.
Tag.
When nothing's working, you always go back to your base. That big spine buster by Carl Anderson.
Gallows and Anderson have been cruising the last few moments. Now looking for that magic killer to end the magic run of Axiom. And Frazier, whoa, wait a minute, look at this. A counter. A submission. Frazier to the outside. All right, Anderson just got dropped. Axiom just took down. Gallows, squeezing Gallows. Gallows is fading, Book. Axiom repositioning. Looking to put the big fella to sleep, but there's a lot of fight left in the big XLG.
Yes, indeed, he needs to move. Luke Gallows needs to, beautiful counter there.
He's usually just the LG, but in Vegas you add the extra X, and now it's Gallows.
Could this be it?
Anderson looking to add that piece of gold to their repertoire.
Wow.
I don't know if there's anything left. Where in the hell did Frazier come from? Frazier didn't just run in the ring. Frazier jumped over halfway across to save the title.
I didn't even see him come in.
You said that the champions wouldn't just roll over. They wouldn't just lay down. They are bringing the fight right now to the OC. But Anderson, there's a different look in his eye right now. He seems a little PO'd. Inside cradle! Inside cradle! Center of the ring! Near fall, double kick out. Don't necessarily know whose shoulders were down, but I do know who's down. It's Anderson. It's now Gallows to the outside. Big dive. Frazier adding it up, got caught. It's gonna get caught, and it's gonna get dropped.
Oh, man.
Save for Axiom.
I'll tell you right now, Anderson and Gallows seem like they came with a master plan here tonight to walk away with those tag team champions. And Vic, they're so close, so damn close.
They've said for months more teams should go about their business in the same manner as the Good Brothers, and it could be good night for Axiom.
What?
You gotta be kidding me. And now look at Anderson. Almost became incensed when he kicked out. He is so angry right now. Anderson is seeing red.
Yeah, but he's doing the right thing, Vic. He's doing the right thing. One more big shot. That could be it.
Great shot by our camera crew. Nathan Frazier's nowhere to be found. It's Axiom by himself. Axiom, though, right now is teetering. Trying everything he can to wiggle his way free and was able to get out for a moment. What a match, Book.
I tell you, Vic, what a match here in the UFC Apex. Talking about history being made already. What else is about to happen? Oh, wow!
Frazier overshot, but he got enough to take down Gallows. Tag. Frazier's now legal. Axiom, though, on the top rope. What's Axiom thinking? Super Spanish fly. Moved him into position. It didn't work earlier, but if at first you don't succeed, try again. Phoenix Splash. Cover, count, and this is why the champs never slow down.
Wow.
Here we are winning, and still the NXT Tag Team Champions, Axiom and Nathan Frazier.
A look of frustration in the eyes of Luke Gallows. What a victory for the champions here tonight. And take a look at the closing moments of this matchup. First it was this super Spanish fly, and no doubt about it, Axiom got all of that. And then it was Nathan Frazier putting an exclamation point on this matchup. Bam! To secure the victory, to retain the gold, and to stay as the top tag team in NXT. And now the question is, Book, as we move to this Tuesday, who can keep up with the tag team champions here in NXT? There is the city of Las Vegas, the home of WrestleMania 41 and NXT Battleground. It's been part of history tonight. Still more to come in Book. We are sold out here for Battleground tonight in the UFC Apex. And one of the reasons is because the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez, who is ready to compete tonight to make more history, as she will defend the NXT Women's Championship against the Juggernaut, the TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace, as she soaks in some of the UFC history here at the UFC Apex. A historic championship clash still to come tonight at Battleground. But Book, you see what's going on, because the Battleground being turned into NXT Underground.
This is it. This is it.
And again, Booker, I want to remind you, as you see people starting to flood, it's a little bit closer. It's a little bit tighter ringside. The Underground is right here in front of us, and it's right here in a matter of moments, because it's simple. Tap or nap. Both these women believe they are the best, but tonight Baszler and Vice will prove who is the baddest in an NXT Underground match.
For a fight. You can do this at Battleground. Nah,
NXT Underground.
Stay humble. Enjoy the grind. Those are all words I've heard since coming to NXT. And they may be true for everyone else, but I'm not everyone else. Lola Vice is a superstar in every form.
Let me tell you a little secret.
Lola Vice, the breakout superstar.
I am the complete package. I've got knockout power in my hands and feet, and I look hot doing it. No one, nadie, can handle Lola Vice.
My star shines bright no matter who throws shade. I brought Shayna Baszler back to NXT, a place she dominated. I never imagined a woman with all of her accolades, someone I looked up to as an inspiration, would be jealous of me. But now I get it.
Clutch! This partnership certainly is over.
Somewhere along the way, people have forgotten about my dominance. Clutching people out, snapping bones, crushing faces. The most feared woman in NXT.
It doesn't matter how brave you think you are to stand up to me. You're gonna get smacked in the face with a hard dose of reality, and I am that reality.
The woman who has held the NXT Women's Championship longer than anyone. The first woman to cross over from MMA to pro wrestling. If it wasn't for me, Lola Vice wouldn't be one of the hottest prospects in the game. She'd be shaking her ass on some street corner. This Sunday in the Underground is the reintroduction of the Queen of Spades.
Shayna Baszler? In the Underground? You have one of two options. Either I tap you out, or I knock you out. You choose, bitch!
Lola Vice, I'll be rooting for you Sunday at the Battleground. Let's go for the knockout.
Shayna's got way more experience than this girl. I think she's gonna wipe the floor with her.
Shayna Baszler's gonna lock that arm around Lola Vice's neck and seeing her life flash before her eyes.
I think Lola's gonna get the KO, you know? I think it's gonna end devastatingly.
Shayna's the best MMA crossover performer, but I'm gonna be the greatest superstar to cross over from MMA to the WWE.
At the UFC Apex, after I tear you apart, you'll find out there's only one cage fighter in wrestling.
Sunday at Battleground, I'm going viral. Because I'm gonna knock Shayna Baszler out, and then it's time to dance.
Oh, get ready, Booker, but there is Khalil Roundtree Jr., the 8th-ranked UFC light heavyweight. He's taking in a historic night here in Las Vegas at Battleground. He, in fact, is ready for NXT Underground. And also, the former UFC flyweight champion, Brandon Moreno, who knows a little bit about making history, the first Mexican-born UFC champion. He's here as well. And are you ready for what we're about to witness? You've already been knocked down once. You might get your ass knocked out here.
Look here, man. Mind your business, all right?
I tried to protect you earlier, Book. Shayna Baszler, though, is all business. Baszler doesn't think, well, she's not going to hesitate tonight. Two former MMA fighters looking to hurt the other here tonight. And when you start thinking about Shayna Baszler, this sort of is a surreal moment. Part of Team Rousey on The Ultimate Fighter. She entered the UFC Apex. It's a full circle moment in a way for the Queen of Spades.
New game now, though, Vic.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's the first time NXT Underground has been on a premium live event. Fitting, it's in the UFC Apex. But it's an area that Lola Vice has been. She's competed in this matchup. She's been victorious in this matchup, but she was victorious, you could make the argument, because of her opponent, Shayna Baszler.
You know what Lola says? She says she's going to get the work done, then it's time to dance. This is about who is the truest MMA fighter in NXT.
These two women fired up because these are the rules for NXT Underground. No counts, no pinfalls. You can see it. The referee here only to hear someone quit or stop the fight. Who's going to be the baddest, Baszler or Vice?
The following is an NXT Underground match. The only way to win this match is by knockout or submission. Introducing first, Shayna Baszler! And her opponent, Lola Vice!
Feel the atmosphere right now, Book. This is not going to be pretty, and for Shayna Baszler, I don't think she'll be as kind as Kevin Holland at UFC 302. She gets a hold of a limb, she's going to snap it off the body of Lola Vice.
You look at Lola Vice, she's putting on a lot of pressure early in this matchup.
How unique, though, is this matchup truly to NXT to the WWE?
You know, NXT Underground is a very, very unique matchup.
Gotcha! Nice takedown! Baszler right on top of Hammer Fist. Now trying to stop away on Vice. Referee's right there, and Lola Vice getting out of the way. Baszler, this is her 11th NXT Premium Live event. Only one woman has more. It's Io Sky. This is a staple of NXT. And you think about Dijak, Natalya, Damon Kemp, Eddie Thorpe. They've been in this environment. They weren't the same when it was over.
Yes, indeed. Big shout out to Eddie Thorpe because he's the guy for me who put me on as far as the Underground match. Bad dude, man. But let's see how this thing went out here tonight.
Up for Shayna Baszler this Saturday. Baszler would see with Zoe Stark in Scotland and Clash at the Castle. The triple threat for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Right now, she's worried about knocking the hell out of Lola Vice. And you think of Baszler, she's the only person to hold a submission victory in combat sports over Ronda Rousey. And another brutal takedown of Lola Vice.
Yeah, it's about what have you done for me lately. Beautiful, beautiful counter there.
Nice counter again, another big takedown.
Man.
And now getting a hold of a limb.
Man.
It's an ankle. Lola Vice now, is she gonna tap? Is she gonna quit? The referee only there to hear her submit.
Advantage to Shayna Baszler here early in this matchup.
Right to the midsection, right to the body. Vice is in a lot of trouble right now. Lola Vice is in danger very quickly in this matchup. And if you want to get pain, you got to be willing to take the pain. And right now, face first went Shayna Baszler, and that will break any hold.
Beautiful setup by Lola Vice right there, but she's still got to be a little worse for wear.
Oh, hammer fist right to the back of the neck, and now trying to lock in. Nice body scissors, and a grapevine is wrapped around the body of Shayna Baszler. Baszler now is in trouble.
Got that rear neck in deep, Vic. She's got it locked in deep. Shayna's going to go to sleep.
Referee in great position. Baszler now, she's still trying to move. She's still trying to fight.
Got a little bit of space in between there, obviously.
MMA world has been split on this matchup as Vice holding on for dear life and taking Baszler right back down to a knee.
The dangerous
Continuing to squeeze Shayna Baszler.
Situation here, Vic. The referee might have to have it where
we thought, wait a minute!
Whoa!
And again, the hold broken. Baszler was in trouble. And it's kind of odd to think about. When you take a look at this matchup, we thought Lola Vice would come in here with the strikes, believes her fists don't lie. Instead, she tried to submit Baszler, and now these two, hey! Oh my.
Whoa.
Our whole table just shifted.
Move it, Vic. Move it.
It's ironic you're the one trying to help me right now. Look, you got me?
I got you.
Because Shayna Baszler has destroyed our area. Again, the official only here. The official's in great position right next to you, Book. Baszler looking for the ultimate knockout. Vice now going to the body. Now trying to climb the ladder, connected under Baszler's jaw. Coming right back in. Baszler with a nice takedown. Hammer fist right to the jaw. She's right on top of Vice. And Lola Vice almost out of desperation. You got to think, Book, if they weren't on the table, if they were on the mat, that might have been a knockout. Oh! No one home for Baszler. And Baszler just ran her kneecap into our table. Take another look, Book, over here to your left, Book. Take a look. Top of the knee, and you can hear Baszler screaming in pain.
That's the difference. It's not an MMA ring, Vic. It's a lot of furniture out here. You get a chance to use like a steel pole or something like that. That's the difference, man.
It's the danger, and now Lola Vice. The knee doesn't bend in that direction. Back on top, and now in control. And look at these vicious strikes, these vicious kicks right to that knee. That's gone into the steel, it's gone to the table, and now locking in. Another submission. Look at Shayna. Shayna's in pain. You don't see the Queen of Spades with this sort of look on her face often. Trying to do anything she can to break this hold. She's been in this position before. Again, these two are MMA veterans. Combat fighting, but again, trying to hyperextend the damn knee.
Beautiful switch, Vic.
Oh my gosh, look at the extension.
I thought this thing was...
The knee doesn't bend that way, Booker.
This thing was going to come down to hard experience, Vic, but it's going to be about who wants it most, man.
Again, Vice has been victorious here before in the underground, and much like we saw earlier, now it's Shayna Baszler who's locked in the ankle lock. And remember the knee, remember the calf, remember the ankle. Within the last 4 or 5 minutes, the damage that has been done, and there's no stoppage. This is going to go till there's a winner. Is there going to be a knockout? Is there going to be stoppage?
Beautiful.
And Lola Vice still got a knockdown.
Beautiful
Vice
low
back
kick.
on top.
Beautiful low kick there, Vic.
Baszler doing her best now to try to keep her body close. I don't know if she's looking for a Kimura, but instead it's Lola Vice just swinging now. Keeping her hands up to defend is Shayna Baszler. You see everyone on the outside. They want the knockout.
Beautiful ground and pound right now. Back stand.
Oh my!
Wow.
That could be it. Is that the knockout? The official right there in position. Shayna doing her best. Able to get back to some sort of base, but look at Vice jumping right on her back, locking in another submission. She certainly has the back of Baszler. Baszler saying no. And all those who are surrounded in the ring, she certainly is.
She's in trouble. She's about to go out.
Baszler trying her best now to negotiate and was able to navigate her way free. And right back on top of the injured knee for Baszler. You looked and you saw Baszler. She didn't almost, I hate to say the sense of freak out. She stayed calm, she stayed composed, and now she's back on top. And now it's Shayna Baszler, raining down rights, raining down lefts. She gets the back of Vice. Locking it in.
It was a desperation shot.
Look at the squeeze.
And now she's on top and switched the momentum.
Is Lola Vice gonna take a nap in NXT Underground? Listen to those around the ring. The officials right there, right on top of the action. And you talked about it earlier. Neither of these superstars, these competitors, had a true advantage in this matchup. But right now, it is advantage Baszler. But look at Lola Vice twisting that right ankle, forcing Baszler to relinquish the hold.
You know, I tell Shayna Baszler is the only person to submit Ronda Rousey
Big kick.
right now.
Big knee!
Whoa!
Big knee rocked her. Official went right in. Vice said she's okay. Again, you look up, but they're right here. The Underground a little bit too close, at least in my opinion, for us tonight.
Monitor Vic, because anything can happen.
Baszler exposing as best she can. That right knee. Big back fist. And again, a big drop from Baszler. It's a kid book right out here at our feet. Baszler still moving.
Can't win it that way, Vic. You got to be in the middle of that square circle.
Lola Vice, nice takedown. Both women have been through so much. Oh, wait.
The hell is going on?
Vice right now is out, but Shayna Baszler has turned her attention To those on the outside, maybe she feels they're in her way. I don't know. Big kick though by Vice.
Beautiful axe kick.
Booker, this is unlike any underground we've ever seen.
Getting wild, Vic. But we know Lola Vice, she's going to be looking for the KO. She's going to be looking for that 305. She's going to be looking for to hit it just one more time.
Wait, Book. Book, look right in front of us. That armbar cinched in. I would say she's looking for a triangle, but she's not in positive position for that.
Still can't win it like that, Vic.
She's trying to get that arm locked straight out, but to your point, Lola Vice in great position there on the outside. And, I'm just trying to peek over the desk at Lola Vice. Now Vice said she's still good.
Back of her head just slammed into the back of the table, into the front of the table. Wow.
Again, the official's only here to stop it or to hear someone say they're done. Everything legal.
Got to do it in the ring,
most
right?
unique match in NXT.
It's got to be in the ring, right? Right?
Oh, no! Booker.
Wow.
Did you just see Baszler? Baszler's head, Baszler's neck just went off those steel steps. NXT Universe right now in a frenzy. Big back fist. Baszler's down. Vice on top. Hammer fist after hammer fist. Referee, stop the match. Referee, stop the match.
Here is your winner, Lola Vice.
Shayna doesn't even know she's out. Shayna's confused as to what's going on. Shayna now is having reality set in. That Lola Vice dropped Baszler, forced the official to step in, and she knocked Baszler from the 702 to the 305. Baszler still in disbelief, and this really, this is what you and I were going back and forth. That happened so fast that Baszler didn't recover. Baszler didn't even realize she was out. Baszler thinks she's in Scotland. Lola Vice got on top. The referee did what he needed to do. He stopped the matchup. The victory goes to Lola Vice, who proves she's the baddest. And at Battleground, it was Vice who was right. Her fists don't lie.
To most people, fire is a destructive force. But to me and my people, fire is used for healing. The time for recovery and contemplation is over. My body is healed, the vision is strong, the path is illuminated. Eddie Thorpe has been reborn. I come from a long lineage of fighters, battling with everything they had for every inch of this world they got. That's true inspiration, because I'm fighting for more than winning wrestling matches. I'm fighting for representation. I now lead the way, not only for me and my family, but for all Indigenous people with a dream. Now I return to NXT, reborn, with a clear mission to execute, and my eyes open.
Get in line, get in line, Congratulations, my girl.
I'm so in shock, I can't believe it.
You know we gotta pop out tonight. I'm
yeah.
hosting Sexy Battlegrounds at Live. I need you to come with me.
Oh, you know I'll be there because I don't want this night to end.
Yeah, we outside.
Yeah.
We outside. Pop out, my girl.
Yeah, thanks, girl.
My crew, let's go.
Well, Booker, get ready, because Sexy Red is coming to a city near you. The Sexy Red for President Tour, 26 cities. Tickets go on sale Friday, June 14th, 10 a.m., but cities and dates will be announced tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific at Sexy, that's with 2 Y's, for President.com. And while that concert's coming to a city near you, NXT, the next time we're on Premium Live Event, we're coming your way. Money in the Bank weekend. I cannot wait. But what a night tonight it's been here. UFC Apex history has been made all evening long, and we got a huge matchup coming up in just a matter of moments for the North American Championship. It's going to be contested under triple threat rules where the champion doesn't have to be pinned or submitted to lose his title. Can Joe Coffey or Wesley stop the unstoppable champion, Oba Femi?
Represent the UFC, Mirage Douglas Willie in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, #1 ranked UFC bantamweight. Bad man.
We talk about a bad man. Also here, a Hall of Famer, much like yourself, Forrest Griffin in the house. They're all taking in the sights, the sounds, and the electricity in a sold-out UFC Apex for NXT Battleground.
Is a triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Introducing first, Wesley.
We argue a lot, Book, but I think we can both agree Wesley is the greatest North American champion ever.
No doubt, Vic, without any shadow of a doubt. Wesley, as champion, pushed himself to the limit, all the way to the brink, but he's back, and I'm loving it, man.
Wesley's 9th NXT Premium Live event, his record book, 8-1. Maybe Lady Luck is on his side tonight here in Las Vegas.
True champion, this kid, Vic. Made me a believer.
Representing Gallus, Joe Coffey.
Joe Coffey, Gallus, I think it's safe to say, turned this place upside down several weeks ago with some attacks. But tell me why some should consider Joe Coffey the favorite to walk out as champion tonight.
Very simple. This kid has a championship mentality, Vic. He's always on the grind. He's Joe Coffey. Good to the last drop.
Yeah, I knew you were going with that. You got your bingo card. Take it to the nearest casino, try to cash in.
Grind, good to the last drop.
I get what you're doing, Book.
Just checking it out.
You know, we can have a lot of laughs. When this man's in the ring, no one's laughing.
And their opponent, he is the NXT North American Champion, Oba Femi.
You defended multiple championships under these sort of rules, correct?
A couple, yes.
How difficult are these matches then for the champion?
No, you always got to stay in the game at all times, Vic. That means you got to keep your head on the swivel, man. Because it don't take but 1, 2, 3 seconds. It's over, man.
Femi, though, has defended the North American title under the triple threat rules before, but still there is no champion's advantage. Oba Femi does not need to be factored in the decision to lose his title here tonight at NXT Battleground inside the UFC Apex.
You go back to NXT stand and deliver Femi, Josh Briggs, and Dijak. What a match of the night. So Femi no stranger to this situation, Vic.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Josh Briggs again. I wonder what's going through Josh Briggs' mind, because it was a double pin a few weeks back that led to this triple threat matchup.
Josh Briggs is saying right now he should be in Vegas right now in this matchup.
Look at the little 2-for-1, and I don't know if you can trust Joe Coffey, but it might behoove Wesley and Coffey to work together in this situation to take down Obafemi. And I don't remember the last time I saw Joe Coffey get up to throw a drop kick.
Yeah, I don't like the tag team work in a situation like this. I was always a solo act, Vic. Always looking for all the admiration.
But if you were in this sort of matchup going against a superstar the size, the strength of Obafemi, you weren't trying to work out a deal with the other man?
No, I wouldn't work out a deal. I mean, come on. What kind of backdoor system is that?
Oh, you've never cut corners? You're the king of cutting corners.
I didn't say that.
Okay, well, no one can trust Joe Coffey, and Wesley may have to here tonight. And there comes Lee right back in, and no fear from Wesley. He doesn't have V5 phobia. He's not scared of giants. He's taking it right to Obafemi.
Looking great here in the early outset of this matchup. In his comfort zone, Vic. He's in his comfort zone.
Looking to fly with a little bit of a twist. And this match could be over just like that. Do we have a new champion? And there is
that's what I'm talking about.
Femi.
You got to stay in the game at all times, and that's Femi, man.
Swing and a miss wildly by Oba, and it was Oba on the countdown to Battleground that said NXT is his house in Las Vegas. The house always wins, and now he has turned the complexion of this matchup around.
Wesley hit
what's Obafemi thinking right now?
Wesley hit about 10 shots, and Obafemi landed just one. Switched the whole momentum.
You gotta be kidding me. Two grown men.
Wow.
Taken down.
Wow.
With that suplex from Obafemi. I don't even know what to say.
Big. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes of Obafemi, man. Oh!
That's why I said they should have worked together at the start.
Did the ring just shift?
They certainly did. They should have had a little 2-for-1 because Obafemi is hitting everything in the ring but the official.
Back truck. Out of control.
And you said this off air to me about Obafemi, who just lawn darts Wesley. You said the greatest attribute to Obafemi is his confidence, not just his pure power.
No, you can tell, like I always say, winning the championship does something to a man, and Obafemi definitely has adopted that feeling, that 30% better feeling, Vic. The confidence is overwhelming with this kid.
Oba, who can stop anyone with just a glance and a big body shot.
Didn't shake this man.
A second.
Wow.
I mean, what is it going to take? Finally put Wesley down, who connects with a kick. Again, I'm just stunned that Obafemi is still on his feet.
Femi's a big guy, Vic. He's a big guy. He's got a lot of strength, and like you said earlier, a lot of confidence, and he's looking to defend this championship.
Can you take a look at Joe Coffey? It was the trio of Gallus who altered this matchup by attacking Briggs, Lee, and Ivar. An attack so brutal that Ivar is out indefinitely, and this is that vicious side of Joe Coffey. Coffey's been in a lot of big matches throughout his career. Can he finally win gold here tonight? Wesley sensed it, able to create a little separation, but then try to take it over Femi. Femi just stopped Lee.
Snatched him right out the sky, Vic.
Wow. And then just tossed him.
Wow.
Have you ever seen anything like that? Oh, my word. Take another look. He threw him out of frame, Book.
Gotta be kidding me. Like I say, Obafemi snatched Wesley right out the sky, man. Wow.
I mean, Obafemi just continues to impress every single time out. I mean, this is someone who, granted, he just got knocked to the outside, but he continues to grow as a champion.
Yeah, he does, but right now, Joe Coffey's looking to grow a little bit himself, Vic.
Coffey and Lee, again, I'm going to go back to maybe have to put their differences aside for a few moments. As Coffey, tornado DDT, almost so much force, it flipped Wesley onto his feet. Big German suplex.
I was talking about Coffey's in position. He's in position here, Vic.
Obafemi rock. Coffey, though, is in control. And Coffey now, he knows he has to strike quickly. This is Coffey's best opportunity because Obafemi's all the way on the outside. Big backbreaker right to the spine.
Right
that
to that
surgically repaired back of Wesley.
Indeed. You took the words right out of my mouth, Vic.
Ooh. Did you hear those forearms? Oh, if this decision's going to work for Coffey. Right back in, able to put on the brakes for a moment, and oh, just dropped. Throat first goes Femi.
Smart right there by Joe Coffey.
Going to the body now. Look at these hands. Throwing some rapid fists. Charging right back in. Lee got caught one more time. Wesley in no man's land, and Oba Femi sidewalk slam. Back to the midsection goes Coffey for the title, into the cover, and Femi able to kick out at 2. And would you agree in this moment, though, this is Joe Coffey's best opportunity? The same would go for Wesley. We haven't seen Oba Femi in this position too often. Certainly never hoisted up in this sort of fashion.
Oh, look at the strength by Joe Coffey, Vic. This is another one of those matches that's going to be determined late in the game, Vic. It's going to be a minute.
Double stop! Wow. What a combination offense. I guess you could say they worked together there for a moment.
Whatever works on the big man.
Big right hand. And Coffey fell to the cover. Coffey fell to the cover. He almost didn't realize it. And Joe Coffey almost was able to grab his first taste of gold here in NXT.
So close, so close.
Here the NXT Universe sold out in Las Vegas, rallying Wesley. Lee, are you surprised he hasn't really lost a step? There's been no hesitation in his game after back surgery.
No, we really don't know if he's lost a step or not, Vic. Right now he's looking good, but later on in this match is going to determine how well Wesley is going to handle his situation. Like you said, that surgically repaired back. But oh, wow! Big shot by
Oba Femi just stopped the momentum of a monster and just pump up power bomb spine first, where steel meets wood.
That's the hard part of the ring right there, but
Lee! Holy
you got to be
again just tossing Lee. I don't know how Oba Femi just caught another grown-ass man like nothing.
That's right.
It was like something fell off the top rope at the top shelf at a grocery store. He just caught it and threw it into the cart. And now Coffey coming back in. What a triple threat match, Book.
No, that's twice tonight. Oba Femi just snatched Wesley up like that. Lets me know he's
wait a minute, Lee, coming
mission.
back in. He was waiting for that cardiac kick, instead got caught again by Femi. Oba just looking for a place to land, and Lee able to turn inside out. Was able to get Femi off his feet ever so slightly for a moment, and he's coming right back. And that connection between the eyes. Cover that man. Become champion again. Coffey was able to break it up. Wesley was so close.
How many times have Wesley gone to the well with that one big shot?
That cardiac kick from the Cardiac Kid, because the man's all heart. Coffey's fired up, and well, you talk about not knowing if that back was tested. It's getting tested tonight. Coffey rolling into the cover and a near fall.
That was a lazy kick out right there, though, by Wesley, Vic. A very lazy kick out.
Who cares if it was lazy, Book? He at least kicked out,
let
right?
me know that he's working
well
me
he's right now?
Let me know that he's ready to go.
Oba Femi, where does he get this strength from? Back on his feet, Coffey. Coffey, though, not going to hang around for too long. I wonder what Ava's thinking right now. She's got to be happy with her decision to make this a triple threat. She knew what was on the line here in Las Vegas. Hey!
Whoa!
That's arrested Gallus, and there's no disqualification under triple threat rules. It's Wolfgang, it's Mark Coffey.
Beat down right here, man.
And you knew those damn hooligans were somewhere. And they, by themselves, have just turned this thing around. Advantage, one man. But the advantage now is to Joe Coffey.
Oba Femi just lost his championship.
Coffey's picking up the scraps. Moonsault! Setting up Wesley. Glasgow send-off. Lee just snapped on that turnbuckle. This is going to be it. We got a new champion at bat. How'd Lee kick out, Book?
The heart of this man. You just said it a minute. The Cardiac Kid, right? Did you just say it?
Book. Oba Femi has risen, and he drops Gallus. Las Vegas ain't lying. Coffey got caught. Wolfgang getting tossed into the steps. Obafemi's pissed off. Obafemi's angry, and the Giant is awoken.
You just woke up a monster, man.
All the best for the Bells. Just rocks. Obafemi for a moment, super kick under the jaw. Is this Lee's moment now? Lee just took out Obafemi. Wesley's been here before, Booker. This is what made him the greatest North American champion of all time, by rising to the occasion.
For that moment, just one more time, Vicky. He's so close to people are behind Wesley.
Wesley, target acquired. Coming right in, going up.
Wow.
Going down. Wesley's feeling it. Adrenaline will make a man do some crazy things, and Wesley's riding the wave of momentum right now. Under the jaw again. Back in with another kick. Coffey's rocked.
What make this kid
cardiac kick from the cardiac kid.
Greatest of all time, in my opinion. He's going to do it again.
Can he do it one more time? Damn it!
Wow. So close.
Gallus sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. What do you say? Don't put. Wait a minute! Wesley taking these guys to the west side. But at what cost, though, Book? At what cost for Wesley?
That was a mistake. Wesley had all the momentum. Should have kept it in the middle of that square circle.
All the best for the Bells doesn't pay off. Obafemi now. Tossing Joe Coffey.
Wow.
Femi's in control. In comes Lee. Oh, my word. Snap, crackle, pop. One more time. Pop-up powerbomb. Obafemi lays waste to the field, and Obafemi retains.
Wow, dude. What a match.
The NXT North American Champion, Obafemi.
Look, I just don't know what else to say about Obafemi and the power this man possesses. I mean, first, Obafemi took on Gallus. In this moment, I gotta be honest, I thought Gallus had put the tide into Joe Coffey. I thought Joe Coffey was finally going to win his first piece of gold here in NXT, and he was so close at this moment, but then you see Obafemi, like a phoenix, rise from the ashes, and in one foul swoop, bam! Wiped out former tag team champions. But for Wesley, the cardiac kid hit that cardiac kid, and that had to be his best opportunity to bring the North American Championship back around his waist. Because in Wesley would risk it all. He knew, just like Obafemi did, they had to get rid of Gallus to make this truly a triple threat. Obafemi overpowered Joe Coffey and Wesley throughout this entire matchup. And that's what I mean. I don't know what else to say about this man. He's catching human beings and throwing them around with no remorse for human life. Bam! Pop-up powerbomb, and just like that, here in front of a sold-out NXT Universe in Las Vegas, inside the UFC Apex, it is Obafemi who continues to stand tall as the North American champion here in NXT. We are sold out in Las Vegas. It's been a historic night all evening long. Championship still to be defended, and you've seen a lot of celebrities here in the house. But look who is here tonight joining us. That is Ash Costello of New Year's Day. She's performed at WrestleMania, and tonight she's taking in NXT Battleground. And one of the reasons why she is here, along with a sold-out crowd, is for what will happen in moments. The world has been talking about this matchup. Can Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace do the unthinkable and walk out with the NXT Women's title? Or can Perez prove this is her brand, her title, her division in this unprecedented clash for the NXT Women's title?
I am a two-time NXT Women's Champion. I should have been handed back my title when it was vacated, but no. I played by all the rules. I beat all the odds. I bested all the competition. That's why I'm back at the top, right where I belong.
You will be defending that Women's Championship against...
So why the hell am I in this position right now?
TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace!
You have built your name here at NXT the same as I have in TNA. Who do you think has built the stronger foundation?
I've been working towards this since I was 13 years old.
For over half my life, I've been busting my ass, and I have this to show for it.
TNA's got an absolute weapon!
I refuse to let this be taken from me from someone that doesn't even deserve to be here. Be here.
When I made my impact at the Royal Rumble,
TNA Knockouts champion entering the Royal Rumble match.
I made it crystal clear.
What a beast! Jeez!
That I do belong here.
Perhaps the most powerful woman to ever grace this business.
This woman has muscles in places you don't even have places.
Making history, just like I've always done in TNA. And now, guess what? I'm going to do it again against the face of the NXT Women's Division, Roxanne Perez.
The women's title will be on the line in NXT. Are we looking at a history maker, or can Roxanne Perez prove she's a prodigy?
Here's the thing about child prodigies. Eventually, they almost always burn themselves out.
I am the only one who has shown true commitment to this championship.
Fortunately for Roxanne, she doesn't have to worry about that, because I'm going to stomp that flame out.
There's no way. I'm letting this go.
Booker, what a moment this is at Battleground. In recent memory, and the internet will fact check me, this is unprecedented in WWE. Grace isn't signed to this company. She's a TNA wrestler, but could be wearing a piece of WWE gold, walking out of Battleground, going to TNA as the NXT Women's Champion.
You know, I am a little worried about this matchup right here. You talked about that juggernaut, an overpowering force. Roxanne Perez is going to have to expect that this could be the toughest night of her young career. It's just that simple, man.
Grace has noted a lot of similarities between her and Perez. Both started their training young. Champions have made history, but the difference has been the path that they both have taken to get to this point. For Perez, she said Grace is like everyone else, not on her level, no lack of confidence. And moments ago I said deadline. We're here at Battleground, not deadline. But what I wanted to get to was so excited for this matchup, a little excited for the night that we've had tonight. There is Roxanne Perez, who was the first to go to deadline and become the first women's Iron Survivor. She has done so much in her career, she truly now believes she is untouchable.
Breakout tournament winner as well, two-time NXT Women's Champion, now looking to beat the TNA Knockouts champion, knock her right off her mantle and shock the world, man. She is truly the prodigy.
First time a TNA wrestler will face a WWE superstar one-on-one inside a WWE ring.
Look at Jordynne Grace. She's a powerhouse, man.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT Women's Championship! Introducing the challenger. She is the TNA Knockouts Champion, Jordynne Grace! And her opponent, she is the NXT Champion, Roxanne Perez!
Booker, you've seen it all. You've seen it all, you've done a lot. You've been a champion in WWE. You've been a champion in TNA. What does this moment mean to you? What does this moment mean to the wrestling world?
Well, it means everything to me, Vic. To watch Roxanne Perez grow from 16 years old, reality of wrestling champion, and down to this point right here under these bright lights in Las Vegas at Battleground. This is a moment, man. This is a moment.
It's a goosebump moment. We aren't excluding, we're including here in NXT. As they finally lock up in Las Vegas, has been very lucky for Jordynne Grace. She defeated Naomi to become the TNA Knockouts champion here in Vegas. Can she roll the dice and make history tonight? I know you got to take yourself back, because I know you're close to Roxanne.
It's very well possible. I mean, you can't take anything. I'm loving this already. No, you can't take anything away from Jordynne Grace because she's carved her own path. She got here on her own wheel by true heart and determination. You can't take that away from her.
A little bit of a feeling out process early on, and Roxanne Perez said, damn hell with that. I'm going right at Grace. And this is what we talked about on Tuesday. Roxanne Perez was with us here on the commentary desk. We asked her how she would combat the strength of Jordynne Grace. She kind of said she's going to have to do it with what she's doing now, the speed, the agility, and being able to stay one step ahead of the challenger.
Yes, right now Roxanne seemed to have come in with a strategy, and that strategy is to keep the feet moving, stay on the bicycle, man. Trying to get under the skin of Jordynne Grace right now with that shot.
I take nothing away from Roxanne Perez. Perez has risen to every occasion. SmackDown victories, Devil's Playground, is one of 3 women to hold the NXT Women's Championship twice. She called her shot, she's hit home runs, but I don't necessarily know if she's even ever been in the ring with someone like Jordynne Grace.
No, she's an athlete, Vic. She's an athlete like none that we've ever seen.
Oh, wait a minute. That was a thumb straight to the eye, and that's certainly one way to counter power.
What are you talking about?
Did you not see the thumb go right into the eye of Jordynne Grace?
I did. I did
Grace coming up, getting caught. Perez seen this in the past. Perez coming back in now again, trying to stay one step ahead, and this goes back to what you have always said about Roxanne Perez, a student of the game.
No, I try to critique Roxanne Perez these days, that she's got just that good, Vic. Right now, she's perfect. She's perfect, Vic. She's special.
And right back on top is the champion. Has successfully defended the title against Tatum Paxton, Lyra Valkyria, Chelsea Green, and Natalya. And she said over and over again, Booker, she's felt overlooked and underappreciated.
I mean, Vic, when you lose the championship the way you do and you come back and you're not first in line, you still should be champion in so many people's minds, and you don't get the shot. Yes!
I'm not arguing with you. You don't got to get hot about it. I just was saying something that she has brought up time and time again in the past. It trying to bend back the left arm of Jordynne Grace.
Loving the strategy right now by Roxanne Perez, trying to clip the wing of Jordynne Grace here early in this matchup.
Though,
it's a perfect strategy.
And continuing to focus on that left arm. And Jordynne Grace right now getting worn down here by Roxanne Perez. These two came to fight. They knew this would be a historic clash on a historic night here at Battleground in Las Vegas in the UFC Apex. And again, it's Roxanne Perez who said, no one is on my level. Trying to prove it here tonight with that Russian leg sweep. Trying to float over into the cover hook and leg, and Grace powering out Booker at one.
Oh, Jordan shakes the head no. You know that normally means something when you're shaking your head no, Vic.
Truly believes Roxanne Perez that this is her division. That is her ring. That NXT is her brand.
She's the best. She's the best, Vic. Now she's looking to, like I say, just go out here and make TNA look real bad after this matchup. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it.
NXT Universe here kind of split 50-50 between these two. No one there for Perez. Grace right now having to try to power her way, no pun intended, back into this matchup, getting tied up one more time by Perez.
How much pressure this is for Jordan Grace?
Well, how much pressure is it for Roxanne Perez,
stepping into this ring right here in the WWE with the best. I mean, here in NXT, Roxanne Perez, how much pressure is that for Jordan Grace?
Another drop kick to the shoulder into the cover, and another quick kick out by Jordan Grace, and you just heard Grace scream. That's got to be a scream of frustration.
No. That arm is hurting, Vic. That's what that is. She's in a lot of pain right now. She didn't expect the Prodigy to be this good, Vic. That's what it is.
Looking for a submission now, center of the ring. Perez trying to crank back on that left shoulder, but take a look at the juggernaut. Rolling right over, right through. Perez trying to take Grace off her feet. Couple of kicks to the spine right now. Not really phasing Grace, but that third one connected right into the lower back. And for Grace, favoring the arm, the lower back as well. She certainly right now is feeling the effects of the offensive onslaught from Roxanne Perez, but she just got planted.
And one big shot.
Grace under pressure, no one home.
That's what I'm talking about. Roxanne Perez right now, she seems to be one, maybe two steps ahead of Jordan Grace.
Goes back to the film study. Goes back to being a student of the game. Goes back to truly believing what she has said, that there is no one that could touch her in the ring. There's no one that's on her level. But right now, she's not going to like the level she's going to go to, because Grace is looking to toss Perez. And back to the injured arm goes Roxanne. The challenger now letting the frustration go.
Referee,
the pressure.
Come on, ref, do your damn job.
He's doing his job.
Some illegal shots to the back of the head.
You talked about pressure. Jordan Grace knows there's pressure. She knows it's unprecedented. She knows it's never happened before. It could never happen again. Jordan Grace now overpowering Roxanne Perez. And turning Perez right around, inside out. High, powerful, impactful offense from the TNA Knockouts champion. Take another look at the impact of Perez, who just bounces off the mat.
Tough shot right there. A lot of whiplash going on in the body of Roxanne Perez after a shot like that.
Everything that's gone on in this matchup throughout the career, have you ever witnessed an athlete that possesses superhuman strength and durability like Jordan Grace?
Never, Vic. I mean, if I compare her to anyone, it would be China, the ninth wonder of the world, and that's a big get right there.
Looking for the juggernaut driver, countered by Perez, again to that lower back.
Big shot. Woo. Nice return.
You can just hear it. Look at that. Jordan Grace was done with Perez with one arm with a scoop slam.
I don't like this toe-to-toe action for Roxanne Perez, Vic.
Again with a big body slam. And I want to go back to Perez. Did you notice that last pump kick went to the left shoulder? She's continuing to focus. And Perez.
That's divided Roxanne Perez.
They know this is a moment that's going to be talked about forever. Oh! Followed over the clothesline in Jordan Grace. The living definition of a juggernaut.
Jordan Grace look bad. She's holding her own here tonight. God, man.
3-time
Knockouts
champion.
Wow.
Oh, the Prodigy got a little lucky there, don't you think? Boom! Spine buster.
Whoa!
Cover for the title, and Perez
got
that left shoulder up. And for Jordan Grace, she's got to stay composed. Booker, she was a half-second away from making history. We were all here in this sold-out crowd in Las Vegas, a half-second away from seeing history at NXT Battleground.
What a beautiful spine buster by Jordan Grace, but I think that shoulder is not able to get her full pressure, you know, on that big spine buster there, I think.
The strength for Jordynne Grace is the power.
No.
That is exactly what Roxanne Perez knew, and what she did when she came in is she focused on the upper body. She tried to take away the one arm. She tried to take away the lower back. She's trying to systematically dissect the Knockouts champion here tonight. Perez came in with a plan. She's executing it, but you know what? It's getting countered right now.
Wow. Wow.
Able to reverse right back out. Perez coming right back in, trying to roll through, and a DDT. Grace getting back up, coming right back in. Could that be the knockout blow to the Knockouts champion? And another near fall.
And Jordynne Grace seems to still have a lot left in the tank, Vic.
Oh, and into the submission now. And again, look at the force, look at the pressure being applied to the shoulder, to that AC joint, which was damaged by Perez early on in the matchup. And for Roxanne, she has done everything in this matchup. And I don't necessarily know if that was a DDT or if it was damage done to the shoulder. Perez followed it up, but now it's Jordynne Grace, who again, back to a vertical base, back to her feet, and trying to kick her way free.
Talk about Roxanne being a student of the game. She's doing everything that she's learned over these years.
Whoa, she's getting rocked right now.
I wonder if it's going to be enough with Jordynne Grace, because we talk about
shoulders down,
the
Booker,
strength
shoulders
of
down.
Jordynne Grace, and right there it's coming into effect.
Going for a round. Oh!
Wow.
No! Over the top rope, and again that pressure being applied. You see the strain in the shoulder of Jordynne Grace. Perez realizing what the rules are. The referee, like what you were saying, is doing his job. Gave her the 5 count, and she used every second of it.
Roxanne turned the strength of Jordynne Grace against her, and that movement right there over that top rope. And Jordynne Grace is not letting up, Vic. She's not letting up.
Both these women have been history makers. Trying to do it one more time. Book.
Muscle buster. I don't like the looks of this.
Second time.
I don't like the looks of that.
Charm. This could be it for history, for your moment. And another near fall.
Wow.
Jordynne Grace,
that move.
So close to crossing the line to
move.
TNA with the NXT Women's title.
That move will finish so many people, Vic. I'm sure Jordynne is shocked right now, didn't finish Roxanne Perez.
Booker, but you have been in historical positions like these two women. You've been in matches that have gone down in history. You understand more so than anyone else the pressure that these two are feeling, because now this isn't the start of the match. There's no more butterflies. They are in the deep, deep water of this match.
It's all about the intestinal fortitude right now in this situation right now. Who wants and wants? It's going to come down to cardio. Who has the most left in the tank? And Roxanne Perez seems like she's ready for this moment, Vic.
She's looking for pop rocks after sending Grace shoulder first into the steel post. No way! Grace having to hold on. Grace though with one arm. Trying her best, and then face first. Down goes the challenger. The champion back to her feet. The champion now risking it all. Another DDT right there on the floor in the entryway of the UFC Apex.
I'm so impressed with Roxanne Perez, man. Right now, like we talk about
she
being
didn't
a
go for
student
the
of
cover,
the game.
Book.
She's going for it, man.
Springboard
wow.
moonsault. Will this time be enough for Perez? And Grace got that left shoulder up, but quickly floating over and into that crossface. This is how Roxanne Perez has defended, how she's won many matches over the last few months with this crossface. And think about that left shoulder, that damaged left shoulder of the TNA Knockouts champion, as Grace trying her best to roll Perez over, shoulders down. Perez had to relinquish the hold. Oh.
Beautiful spinning back elbow.
One more time. Able to counter the Juggernaut driver. Right to the midsection goes Perez. Perez again looking for pop rocks. Countered. Going the opposite way. Perez. Grace. Well, that's one way to counter the pop rocks, Book. Overpower the opposition. What a match. It's Tatum Paxley. We know that Paxley's become obsessed with championship gold. But that is not the NXT Women's title. That is the Knockouts Championship. What's Paxley doing? Where's she going? Oh, Booker! That's TNA wrestler Ash by Elegance.
The hell is going on?
Well, Jordynne Grace didn't like anyone putting their hands on her Knockouts title. The hell is going on, Booker?
I just said that.
Back into the ring, though. Perez got caught. And this could be that moment we've been waiting for, Book. Up and down goes Perez. Grace, moments away from history. Juggernaut drag. That was reversed with a cutter.
Wow.
Pop rocks. Pop rocks. Perez defends her title at Battleground.
Wow.
That's here, the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez.
Once again, the Prodigy proves we are in Rox's world.
That happened quick too, Vic.
What a historical championship clash. As looking for Pop Rocks was Perez. Overpowered. Jordynne Grace in control at this moment. Tatum Paxley and then Ash by Elegance coming out here, getting in a tussle over the Knockouts title. Jordynne Grace took her eye off the ball, dropped the opposition in the aisleway, and then returned her attention to what was going on in the ring. Turning her attention to making history. But that little bit of a distraction, that slight moment, opened the door for the Prodigy to prove that there is no one on her level. And Perez continues to show there is no one here in her league or on her level anywhere in the world.
Sexy Red, how are you enjoying your night here at NXT Battleground?
I'm having so much fun, and matter of fact, now I need time to announce that I'm running for president, and I'm going on to a song. So I'm gonna be in the city near you. And go get my new album, In Sexy We Trust. Sexy! Lola, congratulations, my girl.
It means a lot to me. What can I say? I told everyone I was gonna knock Shane out and dance on her, and I did it, baby.
Hey, what's up? Y'all trying to twerk real quick? Get it loud, love, dog. Get it loud. You finna twerk too. Oh, gosh.
Wesley, so close. You came up short tonight, regaining the North American title. How are you feeling?
Pissed off. The outcome would have been completely different.
That's enough! That's enough!
We need to get some more help back there for Wesley, but social media has been very active tonight, including WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes watching this historic night. You see those comments, Book? Watching Battleground, curious about our main event, thinking about maybe making his way down to see an old friend. He tagged me, by the way, not you. See, some people do like me here, Booker. So take that one.
Nobody likes you.
Well, obviously Cody does. But when speaking of Tuesday, let's talk about some of the action coming up, because after the brawl between these two last week, Javon Evans looks to bounce Shawn Spears back to reality. These two finally go one-on-one Tuesday on NXT. Another rivalry that's been really heating up is between these two superstars. Dante Chen is looking to make it 3 in a row against Lexis King. King stated that this is going to come to an end. Chen and King meet in a Singapore cane match live on NXT this Tuesday. In addition to that matchup, issues between these two went to another level earlier tonight, but this time, talk is over. Meechan's gonna get her hands on Jada Parker this Tuesday on NXT. What a matchup that's gonna be. But take a look at who is in the house. Mal Hill is here, someone who was given advice earlier. You know what, Book? Maybe you should spar with Hill. Maybe you two should get in.
What are you talking about?
Throw some hands.
What are you talking about?
Well,
what are you talking about?
I'm just throwing an idea out
What did
there.
you spar with him?
But absolutely not. But we're not done here tonight, because in moments, Trick Williams is defending his title against a man who a week ago was a free agent. We are about to witness the end of the Whoop That era, or can Trick Williams knock back and knock down Ethan Page?
I talked about this. I dreamt about this. We all wanted this. Trick Williams is your NXT champion.
I've been fighting for this, and I come from fighters. My mama's fighting right now. She's in the hospital.
I need you to whoop that Trick.
People want to see you succeed. People want to see you do your thing, and I got to put the brand on my back.
We entering a new era. I think we're going to call this era the Whoop That era. We will continue to break records, and we will continue to make history.
Yeah, young Trick Williams. He has the biggest spotlight shining on him. And if there's anyone in my world that deserves the spotlight, it's me, Ethan Page. Of course, there was gonna be others trying to get their spot in line, and I don't like waiting, so I cut the line.
Whoop that Trick? Yeah, I'm about to.
Here's the one that everybody's chanting for, talking about, absolutely loves. That's the person that everyone's paying attention to. So Trick was the perfect person to get Ethan Page all the attention in the world. And you saw all the attention I got.
Oh my God! All Ego Ethan Page is in NXT!
Everybody talking and asking, who is this guy? Where is he from? Does he work here? That's my job, is to get people talking. And I think I did a great job at it. Because Ethan Page gets what he wants.
Ava, please give this man Ethan Page whatever it is that he wants. So Trick Williams and every other person in this building can get exactly what we want, and that's for me to whoop your ass.
With that title comes that giant-ass target on your back. Ava, I think I'm ready to sign that contract. She's giving me my first match in this company this Sunday at Battleground for this NXT title.
All bets are off. The grounds for battle have certainly been laid down. Whose ego is gonna be bruised in Vegas?
It is so perfect and poetic that my first match is for the NXT title. And everyone will remember Ethan Page as the one that brought the abrupt end to the Whoop That era. So at NXT Battleground, that NXT championship, it's going home with Ethan Page. So Trick, I hope you're all in, because Ethan Page is all ego.
Ethan Page signed a contract 5 days ago. An unprecedented contract. They gave him an NXT Championship match in his debut. Gave him a main event spot on a premium live event in his debut. No one has ever had this sort of opportunity before on this brand.
Let me tell you what I know about Ethan Page. This kid has won, I wouldn't even call him a kid, he's a grown-ass man, has won championships in just about every regional company in this business, all over the world, all over the nation. And tonight he's looking to, let's just make it plain and clear. He's looking to take Trick Williams' spot all in one foul swoop. Oh my God, man.
Certainly looking to prove that he is all ego.
What? Yeah! I like like it. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, man. That's Trick, dog.
Trick Williams has been jumped. He's been attacked. He's had issues with Lash Legend because of Ethan Page. He couldn't touch Ethan Page because Page wasn't under a contract. He could have been arrested. He could have been suspended. He could have been stripped of the title. Will Trick Williams come hot out the gates at his challenger tonight?
What do you think? What do you think?
I would say
it's
yes.
About whoop that. You hear it, man.
You forgot what it was. I digress. Trick Williams stood
I like
up
it.
for himself.
Oh, yeah, man.
For the brand.
Oh, yeah, man.
Is Trick doing what a champion should do?
Hell yeah, he's doing what a champion should do. I'm talking about go out here tonight and be redeemed by beating the hell out of Ethan Page.
You know what the doctor said about your blood pressure, Book?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Are we about to witness the end of the Whoop That era?
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT Championship! Introducing the challenger, All Ego Ethan Page! And his opponent, he is the NXT Champion, Trick Williams!
Now, it's important to note it's important to note, as I was getting ready to say, that our general manager, Ava, did not want to cave into Ethan Page's demands. It was Williams who wanted this matchup, and Ethan Page is the one who comes out hot.
Trick Williams just got caught slipping early.
It was Williams who was attacked. It was Ethan Page who took out Noam Dar, Ora Mensa, and has wreaked havoc here in NXT. It's crazy to think that for Ethan Page, he noted on social media it took him 17 years to get here, and in one night, he could be champion.
This tells me he's a 17-year veteran with a lot of experience, Vic, and he's not going to go out here and try to match wits with Trick Williams or anything like that. He's going to try to catch him slipping like he did early in this matchup.
Williams coming right back in and now showcasing his own little bit of power in this matchup. And look at Trick, just take down Page. We've never seen Trick Williams like this before.
Right now, he's moving a little bit too quick. I like him just to slow down just a little bit, Vic. Just a little bit.
Well, we know that Trick Williams is not one to sit around and play games. Is this a new layer of the champion being shown here tonight in the main event?
I'm talking about right there, Vic. That's exactly what Ethan Page is looking for. He's not going to try to test him with strength or anything like that. It's about knowledge with this man, Ethan Page, man.
You know, I think it's important to note. Oh, my word. And I don't know, the cameras didn't catch it, but right behind the barricade, our security guard just got pounced because of the force that Trick Williams hit those steel steps, courtesy of Ethan Page. And the referee using some discretion right now. He knows how big this moment is here at Battleground. Sold out in Las Vegas, UFC Apex. It's been a history make. What? I don't really like to look at Ethan Page's eyes as he just shoots the half, and now he gets right back into throwing rights and lefts. And I'm glad that our referee was able to step in, and Ethan Page realized the only way he can win the title is by a pinfall inside the ring. He can't be out here with us.
Let me tell you, Ethan Page is making a hell of an impression here in NXT, and they always say first impression could be the last impression. This kid's looking to walk away with the championship.
I want you to think about this too, Book, when it comes to Trick Williams. I know you have a deep love for Trick. I do know that. His first defense of the NXT Championship, his first defense as the North American champion. He lost it. He lost the title. How can that play into his psyche here against Ethan
No,
Page?
it's a fact in this business, Vic. You're not a champion until you defend at least once. I'm sure that's on his mind, Vic. I'm sure that's weighing it on him. And right now, that could be the reason he's out of position right now.
Could be wondering what's going through his mind, what he's seeing, because he has been angry the last few weeks, and that was an interesting backbreaker. Look at Page, the veteran, going right to the cover and a kick out, and one mistake, one little mistake from Trick Williams could cost him everything, and that one mistake could give Ethan Page everything he wants, that being the NXT title. As again, at one, Trick Williams kicking it.
Yeah, the one thing you can't imagine Trick Williams doing is hard. He's gonna stand. He can take a beat. He's not your
another cover by the challenger, and another kick out.
He's not your traditional wrestler or anything like that. He's a fighter, Vic. No. He's a fighter. He said that himself.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with the point being made. Life throws curveballs. How you handle them tells the untold story. Your character under pressure is who you are, and we're gonna find out a lot about these two men here tonight. More specifically, our NXT champion, that being Trick Williams.
Ethan Page, like I said, I didn't know a whole lot about it, but when he attached Trick Williams, it's always just saying your name, get there before you do. He's definitely a player in this business.
I get you talking about the attacks, and when it comes to Trick Williams, we've already mentioned there's a lot on his mind as Ethan Page right now, trying to squeeze the will out of the champion. When you arrived at the WWE back in 2001, it was the King of the Ring. You drove WWE champion Stone Cold Steve Austin through a table. You know a thing or two about making a first impression.
We're in Vegas, man. It's about getting the chip in the game. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, it didn't matter, man. I just wanted some action, just like Ethan Page right now.
And you got to give credit to Ethan Page. He went right to the top of who's here in NXT, and along the way, he dropped a couple members of Metaphor. And, well, recent weeks and in recent hours, it was Ora Mensah who got himself a little bit of a piece of Ethan Page. But Ethan Page right now not worried about anybody else than the moment right here. The main event of NXT Battleground in Las Vegas. Can he become the NXT champion? He has taken it to Trick Williams since the start. Remember, it was Ethan Page who struck first in this matchup.
Yeah, but he just didn't get that big shot in right there. Look at that big superplex. Couldn't get it.
It's coming right back in is Page, who has been in control.
One more time.
Page can go from a free agent to a main eventer and possibly a champion here tonight.
Oh,
Trick Williams trying to counter.
Here we go.
Page with that veteran ability, able to counter, able to correct, doesn't let go of the wrist, has no wasted motion, and continues to punish with a power slam. The champion, title's on the line, and another near fall.
Ethan Page is showing me something here tonight, Vic. This dude's a winner, man.
It's a spotlight that Ethan Page craves. But I don't know if you would agree with me. He came out here on Tuesday and compared himself to Trick and Williams' path. Trick never complained. Trick earned his opportunity, was an Iron Survivor, became a #1 contender. Ethan Page said one thing on Tuesday. His self-righteous attitude, he said that NXT, that Ava needed to sign him.
You gotta understand, Ethan Page didn't get the advantages that a Trick Williams had here in NXT. I mean, this is a guy, like I say, out there on that independent scene, had to earn everything that he's gotten to this point. Like I say, all the championships. Now, this is the culmination, the big one here in NXT.
NXT Universe getting behind Trick Williams. And Trick Williams has such a connection with the NXT Universe no matter where we go, whether it's Orlando, Florida, whether it's Las Vegas, or whether it's next month in Toronto.
Yeah, that six man is huge in this business, Vic. Having those fans just will you to that point.
And there's no argument that Trick is facing the unknown. You can see him right now trying to rise to the occasion with every counter and every move he makes. Ethan Page brought up Carmelo Hayes. Hayes was a childhood friend. Trick Williams has no connection to the challenger here tonight. That could make Trick a little bit more dangerous, but also makes the challenger dangerous as well.
Like I say, Trick is going to fight. He's throwing that right hand. He's throwing that right hand. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Got a little bit of offense, a little bit of momentum. We know that momentum is a dangerous thing. And Trick coming in, following up one more time. I see that smile on your face,
I've seen that before. I've seen that one a couple of times.
One-man flapjack. Trick now maybe has kicked out, has gotten his second. Whoa, and Ethan Page slithering his way to the outside.
By Ethan Page. That's a veteran move.
Championship on the line. Again, pinfall submission inside the squared circle. Count out does no favors as Page spilled into the NXT universe here in Las Vegas at Battleground inside the UFC Apex. Look at Trick. Trick Williams just launching himself. This indeed is a different side of the champion.
Not the traditional Trick Williams. He's letting it all hang out here tonight, Vic.
Big kick to the side of the face. Falling into the cover as the champion to retain.
Whoa!
Page, right shoulder off the mat. But go back to Trick Williams. You don't think Trick's focused now? Trick Williams is laying it all on the line. And then he followed it up with bam! That nearly was able to bring him a retention of the NXT title as Trick's gonna leave his feet all the way to the top. Took a little bit too much time and got caught. And then got caught one more time by that running knee. And that's what Page did to Williams on Tuesday several weeks ago. Will it be enough? But no, another kick out. Remember Page's sneak attack. Ran that knee right into the jaw of Trick Williams. And are you starting to wonder, Book, is Williams starting to fight on instinct?
I think so. I mean, because going up to the top rope, throwing caution to the wind, and normally not Trick Williams' modus operandi, Vic.
It's all about the NXT Championship. Ethan Page, who talked his way in to this opportunity, to this main event, saying that this brand, that our general manager needed to sign him, needed to give him this opportunity. But there's Trick Williams, the champion, who has fought since he arrived to get to this stage, to get to this main event spotlight. Oh, that kick caught by Page. Clothesline did it! Uranagi, rock bottom, bookend, whatever the hell you want to call it. Is it enough for Williams?
Whoa,
Page
man.
again kicked out.
Didn't get all of it, Vic. Ethan Page trying to take a little bit of break right now, a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, he's taking a breath a little bit close to us. This indeed is awesome. This is our main event here at NXT Battleground. Booker, there's just a different look in Trick's eyes. There's a different gleam in the champion's look. Trick Williams now is looking to plant Ethan Page. Page countering. Page overpowering Trick. But Page has to get Williams back into the ring. That's the only place Ethan Page can win the NXT title. And on his first night, his first match, can Page make history? I cannot hear you, Book. Booker's headset is damaged because of the impact. Ethan Page now. Just dropping, planting Williams into the cover for the title, and somehow Trick was able to kick out. Page wanted to come here to end the whoop that era, and he might just do it. Gotta be careful though not to get disqualified. Page back in, right back on top. Ethan Page is becoming unraveled, is becoming unglued.
He's close to getting disqualified. Whoa, it's so close.
Wait a minute, Book.
Whoa!
Trick shot, cover, count. Williams able to overcome and retain at Battleground.
Here is your winner, and still the NXT champion, Trick
unbelievable main event for Trick Williams. You said you weren't truly a champion until you successfully defended it. And here tonight, for the first time ever, Trick Williams successfully defends his NXT Championship. But there was a lot of question marks in this matchup because Ethan Page showed what he was made and a little bit more. Right here, was able to turn this matchup around. Was able to take out Trick Williams, and in this moment, walking that fine razor's edge line, was able to plant the challenger, or the champion as the challenger, was so close to the unthinkable in his first night here, but got a little overzealous, took it to Trick Williams. Referee didn't want to disqualify Ethan Page, and in the end, bam! That trick shot knee from Trick Williams was all he needed to be the difference maker here tonight. As the host joining Trick in the center of the ring, that being Sexy Red, it's gonna be a party in Las Vegas for the NXT champion. The battleground has been cleared. The NXT champion stands tall. And in the end, it was Ethan Page's ego who got bruised by our champion, Trick Williams.
This has been a special presentation of WWE. For over 70 years, the global leader in sports and entertainment.